Hey everyone, it's Norm Farrar, aka the Beard Guy here, and welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the Amazon FBA and e-commerce podcast.
Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm.
Okay, you heard me hype this up the last podcast. This is going to be one of my favorites. This is one of my favorite ladies. Anyways, on today's show, we're going to be talking about the ups and downs of being an entrepreneur. Our guest today is an early internet adopter. She started her first website in 1999. She started over 14 companies, including Sticker Junkie, Yoga Junkie, Delinquent Distribution, and I like this one, Power Chick Mafia. And once you see and talk to her and experience Andrea Lake, you'll understand why she is a Power Chick Mafia. But anyways, she's also been featured in Wired, Inc., Entrepreneur, Forbes, a few of those. And I am going to touch base with her about her Donald Trump experience. She was a contestant on The Apprentice. So we'll be talking to Andrea Lake in just 2 seconds. But Boy Wonder, where are you?
Hey.
Is my beard still funky? It's still funky.
It is a little funky, but
oh my God.
I like it. It's okay being funky.
What's going on?
Welcome, everyone. We got a great turnout already. Welcome, Manny, Andrew, Jessica Rabbit, Simon, Rad, Dr. Cause. Thank you guys for joining. I'm here over in Toronto, Canada. Let us know where you're watching from. Also, if you're new to this show, you can head on over to our community. That's the Lunch with Norm, Amazon, FBA, and Ecommerce Collective Facebook group. That's the best place to go and join in on our community. Let me see. We have a great show today. We have a giveaway too that we're going to be talking about shortly. So stick around for information on that. And of course, smash those like buttons. Share this episode out to your communities. If you know anyone who is an entrepreneur or looking to become an entrepreneur, share it with them. Tag them in the comment sections. And yeah, we can't wait for this. It's going to be a great episode. Andrea has been on the I Know This Guy podcast with Norm before. So it's going to be great to have her back. And yeah, super excited about this episode.
And she also killed it in Clubhouse. We had a Clubhouse room with her in the past. So I'm just loving it. And I also want to just give a quick shout out to, Jessica, Andrew, Manny, Simon the Troublemaker. Oh my God, I've got stories about him in London this week. Rad. And also, not Ricky Lake, Simon, Andrea Lake. Oh my God, he's already starting. Okay, and also, Andrea's going to like this. We have a guest here, Daniel Damasa, who's already has been on the podcast as well. So I know they're good friends. But before we get to that, we just want to give a quick shout out to Sellerize. Sellerize is the sponsor of this episode. Sellerize is your comprehensive solution for your everyday business needs. It's everything you need to grow and scale your business with just one click. For more information, contact Dean and his team over at sellerize.com. All right, now sit back, relax, enjoy the episode. Hey, lady.
Hey, how are you, friend?
I am doing awesome. I have been telling everybody how excited I am about talking to you again.
I'm excited too. I love being on here. Another shout out to Daniel Damasa. Thanks for introducing us, Daniel. Daniel's one of my business partners at my company. You guys can check out tshirtjunkie.com, and Daniel is awesome.
He is awesome. I always enjoy our we get together around December for the boat parade. Have you ever been to the boat parade down in Fort Lauderdale?
No, I haven't. I've never been to Florida in December. I've been in November for Art Basel.
Oh, you got to go. It's so cool. But anyways, we have our cigars sitting there watching the boat during that time period. So even one of the things, the small little points I forgot to even mention is that you, Daniel, another partner, you've sold over $1 billion worth of t-shirts.
Yeah. Oh, yes. So Daniel Damasa, who's on here, owns Die Epic. I own Delinquent, which had the exclusive sales rights on the merchandise for Minecraft, World of Warcraft, Call of Duty, Walking Dead. That did not suck. And one of our business partners started Combat Flip Flops, and he's been on Shark Tank. And the other one started Tap Out clothing, which of course everyone has heard of.
Tap out? No, it's just a
What is
startup.
that?
Yeah, I think everybody's heard of that one.
I think so. I hope so. Maybe not. You know, I feel like if you're not, I guess if you're younger and you're not into MMA, maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. Look, there's so much to talk about, and especially with, you know, being an entrepreneur, a lot of people here, they're new sellers. They might have come from a different industry. They're selling on their own, and they're just experiencing selling for themselves, and they're finding out that every day is not just, you know, bubble gum and unicorns or whatever they call it, but it's a tough go. Like an entrepreneur, you experience, first of all, it's lonely. Second of all, everybody's after you one way or the other. What advice can you give to people that are just new to being an entrepreneur?
Yeah. I mean, honest to God, you got this. And when people are coming after you for one reason or another, every single person has a dream that they wish that they were doing. And people that actually aren't doing their dream are going to behave sometimes not as nice towards you, whether it's a customer that's being difficult or whatever. But you got this. Go live your best life. You're on it.
Right.
Just keep doing it. Just keep doing
just
it.
taking that step, right? Just saying, I'm going to take that risk is, you know, 50, 60% of the way there.
It really is. I actually have the best advice that I got from Jack Canfield. He has a book, Success Secrets. He's like an old school motivational business guy. And it was, do 5 things extra every day for your business. It could be sending an email, approaching a new customer, whatever. But if you do 5 things each day for your company, you're going to do like over 1,500 things in the year, these little small steps.
Yep.
And it's really, really about doing the next right thing. That's it. All of these like overnight success stories are just total bullshit. Like you don't see the 10-year, like when I launch a new company, does it go well? Yes, it does. Because I've been in business for 20 years. So when you hear of like an overnight success story, generally it's someone's 3rd or 4th or 5th company.
Right. And nobody talks about failure, right?
Right.
They all got the Lamborghinis and they're,
that's right.
you know, yeah, nobody talks. So let's talk about that for a second.
Sure.
Failure, is it something that should be expected when you're building a business?
So when I first started my companies, I did not have a lot of failure for, I'm going to say, the first 7 years. And then what, but like I was excited every time that I sold a $20 t-shirt. So I had a different mediation of standards, but then my company started to get bigger and bigger. And one of my distributors, one of my huge stores, they had 625 locations, Mr. Rags. It was a US chain store. And they owed me $910,000. That was a completely normal amount of purchase orders back and forth to be open on their books. And they went out of business and they did not pay me.
And you had no foot to stand on?
None. No. I talked to my attorneys and they were like, I didn't even have like my attorneys back then. I talked to an attorney and then I got a second opinion. And he was like, girl, you are so far down the food chain. If you hire us, it's going to cost you another $40,000 to get your name on their receivables, which you're like already on to even potentially get paid. But you are so far down the line of who they're paying that you're never getting paid.
Oh man, that's horrible.
Yeah, it was horrible. So I went from like so freaking flush to like just nothing overnight.
One of the things that I've learned, I don't know if you do that, I'm sure you do this, but especially with Amazon business, there are, you know, that certain emails are going to come from Amazon just making your life and living nightmare, like suspensions. But one of the things that we do, we try to plan for that. So it hasn't happened, but we provide like risk evaluation. So, okay, if this happens, then here's our game plan. And we kind of do that beforehand and we put that into our project manager, our management tool. So you can sort of prepare and it helps you. It helps you in a little bit, but you just got to be resilient, don't you?
You really do, because I think that happened whenever it happened, it is the reason that we started Sticker Junkies. So it must have been like 99 that happened. And it's the whole reason that I started Sticker Junkie, because I was like, oh, wait, I was selling a lot of stuff to chain stores, which is a very large purchase from one single client. So I was like, I actually need a company also to where I'm selling really small dollar sales to a very wide audience of people. That way, if one or two of my really big clients have an issue at the same time, I'm not, going to go out of business. So that was a risk mediation, actually, starting Sticker Junkie.
Right.
Mhm.
Now, you've started over 14 companies.
Yeah.
What are some of the things, what are some areas that you look at before you jump into a business? What type of planets and stars have to line up before you enter?
So it has to be fun. Number
Yep.
one, it has to be. That wasn't always a requirement for me, but it is now. And it has to, I have to like see a pathway forward for it to make money, like a lot of money. And then I have to have the right team on it, because there's been a couple times where I've had a great idea and I just don't have the proper team executing on it. And it just is never going to work when that's the case.
So the team's skill set. So that's that's a whole other rabbit hole, is how do you hire the right team? So
Yeah.
what are some of the things that you're looking for when you're hiring the team so they are the right people?
Well, I think to like take it backwards too, because I know we have a lot of starting entrepreneurs on here, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So this is because that's a little bit more like I can afford to hire a good team, do you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, but in the beginning I couldn't. So then what I would do is I would just assess, like when you're very, very starting out, I would assess all of the things that actually made my company money. Because in the beginning of one of my first companies, anti-establishment clothing, I was doing everything. I was running the credit card orders. I was packing the boxes, shipping the boxes, doing the labels, doing everything. So I hired my very first part-time person, and I just wanted somebody that was honest and competent and could type fast. That was like a big skill back then. And then I made a promise to myself that every hour she was there, I would be doing sales calls. And now it would be internet marketing or something else, but this was, 99 around then. And the very first shift that she had, I had her come work for 4 hours. And she was $10 an hour, that was normal back then. And that was actually really good pay back then. So it was costing me $40. I made $1,500 in sales on the sales calls. And as she was leaving that day, I'm like, you're full time from here on out, because all I should be doing is focusing on making my company money. So like in the beginning, I would do everything you can to focus on making your company money, and have somebody else do, because I was like, oh, I guess I'm never packing boxes again. Have somebody else do all of the easier stuff.
Yep.
Because you'll be shocked at how much faster your business grows.
Right. So all those little repetitive tasks are taken away from you so you can concentrate on growing the business.
That's right.
All right. Now, what about when you're looking at other successful entrepreneur and the traits they have to building their business? What are they?
Stick-to-itiveness.
Yep.
You're going to get knocked down. Stuff's going to happen. You're going to have unexpected expenses. Just all of the stuff that there's two things I think make an incredibly good entrepreneur. One is risk tolerance. You have to be able to handle risk. You cannot freak out when stuff is not going well. And you truly, truly have to be able to immediately be solution oriented. If you get caught up in the problem of everything that's going wrong, you're just not going to make it.
Great. Before I forget, which
Yeah.
I usually do around this time, we do have a giveaway today, and it's an awesome giveaway, and I'm going to add to that giveaway as well. So, and yes, so you have given like an incredible giveaway. Thank you so much. And if you want, just explain exactly what it is.
You'd get a $150 gift certificate to stickerjunkie.com. So that's enough to buy anywhere from 300 to 500, depending on what size and shape and everything that you want. Stickers for your company. Yay.
That is so cool. So thank you so much. And I thought, well, okay, if you're going to, because you're so special, I thought I'm going to add to this as well. So anybody who wants to join the Wheel of Kelsey today, hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, tag 2 people, and you get an extra entry. I'm also going to throw in a 30-minute consult. Okay, so it's a combination, $150 from Andrea, and you've got a 30-minute consult with me. So that's,
Wow.
yeah, so there we go. So
That's
hopefully,
quite a prize.
but Daniel can't, Daniel, you're excluded.
I would do a consult. That's great.
Yeah, I thought if you're doing it, I'm going to do something as well.
I
So,
love it.
hey, what, I know you have mentors, and I know there were resources that you've, worked with to build your business. Who are they, or what were the resources?
Well, so when I very first started my first clothing company, I reached out to somebody that I just he was a friend of a friend.
Mm-hmm.
So I reached out to that friend and said, can you introduce me? Because he had sold we're still friends to this day. He had sold $1 million worth of t-shirts in the last year. And I was like, that is all the money in the world. I'm going to go do that. So I had this company, my first company, Rhythm Sticks, those juggling toys that you play with, the 2 sticks in each hand, you throw around a stick. But I had to hand make all of the sticks. And I was like, I can just get t-shirts printed and sell them. Are you effing kidding me right now? So I had our mutual friend introduce us. And I just said, hey, I'm starting this clothing line. It's called Anti-Establishment. It's like kind of offensive t-shirts. Will you mentor me? And he was like, I don't know anything about mentoring. And I'm like, just meet with me for coffee. And he did. And he told me every single thing that he knew about selling t-shirts. And this would have been in like 98. And so I didn't know anything. And he just was so generous. It's actually one of the reasons that Daniel and I wrote a book on how to start a t-shirt company and like just give the stuff away, give the knowledge away on how to start a t-shirt company. We also sell a course on how to do it. But it is because all of us had such generous mentors. In the beginning, we have a lot of free content on how to do that. And then I have another mentor who's very private. I never mention him by name, but he was much later when I was much further down my trail of success, and he's a multi-billionaire mentor guy who's had hundreds of millions of dollars in exits on multiple verticals, and also is one of the most successful traders in the world. And so once I was at an appropriate level of success to have that level of mentor, he took me on. But when you're reaching out for a mentor, you really don't want to try and get the person that's like the pinnacle top one directly to mentor you, because they're quite busy. And it really is great to step ladder up to the next mentor who's just like a bit higher than you are, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really great advice. Going to that next level and stepping up. That's perfect.
Yeah. But then I also, if I had the availability today that we have today, if I was starting today, I also would like listen to people like Norm and join his communities, because there's so many people who are at that top level who maybe don't have time necessarily in general to do a lot of personal one-on-one consults. But like a lot of us are just putting the knowledge out that's like, no, this is how you actually do it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in our podcast, I don't know if it was on the podcast or we were talking about this off air, but you were talking about like you get emails daily, hourly from people that want to reach out and have you mentor them. Mm-hmm. And there were very specific things that you look at and that you don't even look at. Like most of them just your assistant takes them and deletes them, but I don't say that.
She does do a very nice standardized.
She does a thorough job. We won't say delete, but there are characteristics that stand out. And there was this one individual who actually you reintroduced me to, but this person that reached out and it was like, oh yeah, I got to talk to this guy.
Yeah.
And when you're reaching out to a mentor, what were those characteristics? You had thousands of people reaching out. You got this one person, put him under your wing, and now he's a gazillionaire.
Yeah, it's true. I have a couple of people like that, and all of them approached me the exact same way. So I'm going to say 98, 99% of the emails or reach outs, messages, whatever, that successful entrepreneurs get are, I have this company. It's the best idea in the world. It's failing right now. If you help me with it, it will be successful. And the response that any successful entrepreneur has is like, yes, that is probably true. Yes, it probably will, but I don't have any time. Or why would I take you on to this concept that generally speaking is not super unique? or it's like, I'm just barely baby starting out. Can you partner with me? And you're like, that's not really who somebody that's at the pinnacle of their career is going to partner with. However, the people that got through my radar, and especially Travis Steffen, who I'm sure is
that's him. Yeah.
He's so great. So he reached out to me, and the email was very short and very to the point, but it was like segmented in like 3 bullet points. And it was like, hey, this is me. I saw you here. I was fired up when I watched your XY. I was on this movie. He's like, I saw this movie. I was fired up about it. This is who I am. I was a professional. I was on my way to the NFL Division I school, and had a career-ending injury. So I've been studying business. I've done this and this and this. I've had some measure of success. But if you had time to even talk to me for 20 minutes and let me take you to coffee, I know for sure that it would hyper accelerate my success. But I know you're super busy. So if not, no worries. I'll see you at the top. And I was like, what? I called him. I immediately, as soon as I read the email, I called him on the phone because he had his phone number in there. And that was maybe 10 years ago. And now, he went on to like sell 6 businesses in 6 years. He's ultra successful. He's the CEO of GrowFlow now. And they just raised like $1 gazillion round. I can't remember how much they raised. And he's just a genuinely good guy. And in order to retain me as a mentor, I would just give him stuff to do. Like, go read this book, go do this thing. He would do it. And all of my mentors, this is the case, mentees, this is the case. He would do it. He would write back to me and tell me that he did it and tell me what the, sort of results were. I didn't tell him that he had to write me back and keep in contact with me. But most people will not do very basic things. If you tell them to go read my mentor, the $1 billion mentor, he gave me a list of 14 books and he's like, read these. And they were chunky, dense books. He's like, read these in the next 6 weeks and get back to me. I think I read them in 4. I'm like, wow. So you have to do the assignments of your mentor. Otherwise, and you can't ask them to fix all of your company.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You've got to do the heavy lifting.
Yes.
Wow. And that's something I used to do, especially when I was younger, even now. But if I see somebody that I really wanted to know and understand and not just absorb, but I'll ask them to go out for a cup of coffee. And I was very surprised at how many successful business people there are that will take the time, if you buy them a cup of coffee, that will sit down and talk to you. And like, maybe not as a coach or maybe not as a mentor, but you know what? I can fire an email over to the person because I'm not trying to grab and just take, and now they're part of the network, which is kind of really cool. But you know what? You also started to talk about that you are in the t-shirt space. You still are. You have this course, Teachables, which we'll talk about.
Teacher.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry.
No worries.
Teacher.
It's at tshirtjunkie.com.
There we go. And what was that again?
tshirtjunkie.com. We changed the URL that it goes to because teacher was too confusing to spell.
Okay, great. But this is perfect for our audience. Our audience are into e-com, Amazon. Amazon, we hear about saturated markets. Okay, in the supplements or into mobile like iPhone case or whatever it is. I would think t-shirts is probably a fairly saturated market.
Yep.
What kind of advice would you give to people that are in these types of markets? How do you beat the competition?
You have impeccably good marketing. You have an impeccably good TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You don't talk about your product. Steve Jobs, that was his big thing that he came out with. You never discuss the product. The product is never even named. You're really pushing the lifestyle of it. So even though somebody in the shop maybe is wearing your t-shirts, it's the vibe of the picture behind it. It's it's like creating this almost like tribal belonging mentality, because the psychology of selling a t-shirt, and especially to that prime audience of people that wears t-shirts, right? So like, 8 years old to like 23, 24 years old. That's like your prime target audience. So something that's going to wear a graphic print on a tee. The t-shirt to them is an identifier of who they are. It is an expression of themselves, which is why the licensed goods did so good for us. And then just the funny, jokey, sort of offensive, mildly irreverent stuff, because it said like, hey, I'm cool. I have a great sense of humor, this and that. So all of the imagery that they see on your website, I mean, now that it is so easy to do good photography, there is no excuse for not having phenomenally good imagery that immediately grabs you. So if you want to know what I'm talking about, go to any large t-shirt company, go to roxy.com or, any of these ones that's like been forever, or Combat Flip-Flops. Or Diepic. Diepic.com, Daniel's site, is a perfect example of this. You go on there, there's a bunch of skydivers. They're super effing cool. All the photography is cool. And his Instagram is impeccable because he got his whole audience in on the game. And it's like a big deal when they get posted on Diepic's Instagram and it's gamified. All of those are really smart things, because then you get those really fanatic fans that are constantly posting about you. He has like the champion MMA fighters are all now wearing his stuff too. So his stream looks just like, whoa, whatever this is, I want to be that cool person that's the skydiving, extreme sports guy.
Yeah. And talking about, I haven't talked about this for a long time, and you just triggered this. Talk about extreme. Diepic. How many people go out? I don't know how many, maybe you will, Andrew, but would you put a tattoo of Lunch with Norm on your body?
I know, right? It's such an indicator for all of our big clothing companies. All of my friends, like all of the people that teach in T-Shirt Junkie on T-Shirt, we have sections of people that have put our logos on their body, but Diepic, I think, is winning with the most.
It's crazy.
They tattoo it right on their body. It's crazy. It is.
Oh my gosh. So that's what we'll do. If you put Lunch with Norm on your body, please tag us so we can put it onto our, Kelsey, put it on your body.
Yeah.
I've already told the Patreon group that if they tattoo Lunch with Norm on their body, they get a free membership, a lifelong membership.
Hey, now that's a little extreme. I would have given them a mug, but lifelong membership's okay. Okay, and on that note, if you have any questions, entrepreneurship or building a business, scaling a business, please put it into the comment section, and we'll get to them shortly. If you had to do anything over again, what would that be?
I would never worry. I would never put time or energy into worrying. I would always trust that it's going to be okay. I'm so much better at that. I wasted so much of my life being upset at one failure or another. And I said this before on your podcast, but every single thing that's turning your wheels and keeping you up at night right now is not even going to matter to you at all. In 5 years, you're not even going to remember it.
That is so true. I remember in my 20s, literally getting a bloody ulcer.
Yeah.
And, I take a look at what that was about, if I can remember. I'm an old guy, limited memory. But if I remember correctly, what that would have been, it would have just been like, it wouldn't have been nothing today.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I've found, at least with stress, is that you overthink it. It's never, I don't know about you, but it never has been as bad as what I thought it would be.
Oh my God. No. And this is from someone who went from $1.2 million liquid to $2 million in debt in a week. And I am telling you, that is not a big deal. It's not. The 2 years that I was in the fetal position crying on the floor, unnecessary. I never filed for bankruptcy. I paid off every penny. It took years.
Yeah.
But it was one day finally, after being fucking so mad at myself and so sad. And so I blew up my whole life. I'm failing at life. So dramatic. Trauma. One day I woke up and I'm like, wait a minute, I know how to make money. I know how to do this.
Just that easy.
It was that easy. Yeah. It was a switch in my mindset. And I'm like, dude, $1 million is just selling a thing that costs $1,000 1,000 times, or a thing that costs $100 10,000 times. It's not even that hard to make $1 million.
But what's crazy is when you're in business, and you've been in business like many different businesses, but it's usually the same formula. Like if you get it right once, it's just rinse and repeat.
If you can run a business, you can run any business. You have to learn what the specifics are of that particular industry. They're all different. But I think it's such a mental game. It's such a mental game of just like knowing like I can do this, I got this, I'm capable of this. And also like looking when you actually meet a lot of really top tier entrepreneurs, you're like, that person is actually not smarter than I am. And they figured this out. And there's something really reassuring about that of like, I have friends and business partners and super successful friends at all levels of like intelligence, but all of them are hustlers.
That's a key. And resilient.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, I think that is the one thing I found. They can take failure, and I call it failure to succeed. You know, you have to have that failure to succeed. If you don't, I don't know about you. I mean, you said, you know, for 7 years. Well, for me, it was like the next day something would have come up, you know.
I got really lucky in the beginning. I am not trying to say I didn't. It was very lucky.
But it happens, and it's a learning experience. So we can't dwell on that. You move forward or you get out. You don't become an entrepreneur. One of the other things, so we talked about mentorship, but we haven't touched on coaching. And a lot of people are trying to do it on the cheap, right? They might not have money right now. They put everything into their business. I was always one into investing. I invested in myself. I invested in going to a strategic coach, like to a coaching program where I paid money and some good money to learn how to build my business. If it wasn't a coach, it would be somebody else that I could kind of lean on or watch if I couldn't become if they weren't my mentor. But what do you think about coaching programs or getting into these paid masterminds? Would you spend money on it?
Not only would I spend money on it, I do spend money on it. I'm actually texting my coach right now to see if I have this intensely good planner. It's a 90-day planner that she sells. And it is what runs my whole life. It is not expensive, but any type, it's like, I think $97 or something, and it's a download, so then you have it. But anything that keeps you on track, I actually do for right now, because I'm in a new project and it's an intense growth phase. So I do coaching sessions for 4 hours every Friday till the end of the year. Yeah. So that is not normal. Normally I do like an hour a week of coaching with my coach. I have a couple of different coaches. I use them for different things. But yeah, it is intensely important because mindset is the most important thing. It just is because like, you're going to fuck up and stuff is going to happen and people are going to do what they do and you're going to like sell a big order and it's going to have to be refunded. Like there's just stuff that's going to happen along the way. And as entrepreneurs, we have a choice to let a little speed bump become like a barrier wall, or to just be like, I don't know. I jumped in my car a little bit. I was going too fast. It's fine.
Meh.
Yeah. Hang on. Okay. Sorry.
No problem. So the other thing too, and I'm not sure if you're involved with any of these types of groups, but either an EO or a YPO, I like those groups because you get to rub shoulders with people, like you said, hustlers, that have that mindset. And like I know with EO, and I don't know if anybody here, it's entrepreneur organization. It's a group that you can join. I think that they have $1.5 million entry point.
1 million.
But is it $1 million?
Yeah.
Yeah. So at that point, you become a forum. You can create this forum and you have this group of, I just call it's sort of a board of advisors. It's non-competing people that can give you just honest feedback. And I have a group, like I'm out of EO right now because of my travel schedule, but I have a group that's 25, 26 years old. I can call them like that, get answers. I can call them if I had a problem and it was a critical problem. I guarantee you that they would be coming over to the house, spending the weekend or spending a day trying to fix whatever it is. It's an incredible organization, but there's tons of them out there. But EO, YPO are incredible. If you're looking, because it is lonely as an entrepreneur and you need some guidance, I definitely would look at it. And it's not really that expensive, and it's a write-off, of course. But anyways, so you are part of, I guess you'd probably be YPO?
Both.
Oh,
so
you're a member of both.
You can be a member of both. So I was previously in YPO, but I actually like so for EO, for you guys listening, EO is just only entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
That's it. And you have to have $1 million to get into a group. YPO is C-level positions at like Fortune 1000 companies. They can be family businesses. They can be entrepreneurial business. They can be anything that you're running that is doing over 10 million annual sales. Some groups it's 4 million, some it's 10. The one in Malibu, it's 100 million in sales. Like they have different requirements for different groups, and they'll sort you into the right group. But it's a much, much higher level of a group. But also because it is like CEOs do not have the same problems as entrepreneurs. They're dealing with their board. They're just dealing with different stuff. And then family businesses. I'm like, okay, well, you didn't start your own company. Like, it's cool though. I mean, there's badass people running family businesses. Don't get me wrong. Also not the same problems because they're sort of dealing with usually familial issues. That's usually the biggest problem. So with EO, it's just all entrepreneurs. But there's a couple of ones prior for people just starting out. There's YEC, which I also am in, which is wonderful, which has a lower starting requirement. I don't remember what it is, but it's some lower 6-figure starting requirement. Mm-hmm. And then there's tons of local stuff. Like you guys, if you are just starting out and you just want to connect with other local entrepreneurs, go to your local chamber of commerce and join, because you'll meet other entrepreneurs in your area. And as you scale up, join these other groups, join them. Cause EO is $1 million, but if you're at like 500,000 and you're like, I really, really want to join, they do have like memberships. Oh yeah. I love YEC. Thank you for putting that link up there. Great. They do have other resource stuff. So like, just look around, and you just almost can't go as long as you don't buy into some multi-level marketing thing. If it's a really hyper local one, then you just can't go wrong.
Yeah, that's really great advice. But yeah, so anyways, check that out. And also, if you are looking for a coach, I did this at the beginning. So I joined EO and then got introduced to Strategic Coach at that time, Dan Sullivan's group. Great. So there was different, I think there was $50,000, $100,000, $250,000, $500,000 levels of income, right? If that's what you were earning. And, if you're at 50, I want to be with the 500,000. You think you're getting, ripped off if you're going with, you nailed it. Yeah. There are different expectations, different needs and requirements at a 50,000. And if you try to skip up to $250,000 or $500,000, you're going to get a whole other group of circumstances. So don't try to screw up the system and just go, because things are going to be geared towards you, and you're going to miss the boat if you try to jump it too quick. Anyways, check out Strategic Coach, Dan Sullivan. I haven't been in contact with the Strategic Coach forever. I think this is how old I am. It started, like when I joined EO, I think it started. That far back. It was the first year going.
I remember when they just started. So
yeah.
You and me both.
What? You were 5.
Shut your mouth. You're so sweet to me. I'm really not sensitive about my age. I'm 47, and so I've been in this game for a little bit of time. Oh, it's only $47 for the planner I use. Okay, you guys, I'm sharing this link. I don't actually know how to share a link on here, because as a person that's on here, as like somebody that's speaking, it's different.
So you can just go into the private chat and drop it there, and I'll post it.
You're the best. Thank you. Oh, and you sent me something in there. So I'm so busy that I didn't know. Okay, cool. You got it. So you guys, this, in addition to, and like, I don't even get an affiliate commission from her, because this woman who designed this gorgeous, which it would be fine if I did, but I don't. This woman who designed this gorgeous planner, it's called the Paint Box Planner. Is a very, very good friend of mine, but it's a 90-day system where you do a 90-day goal. It's $47. And I have used every planner, and I am obsessed with paper and stationery and design. It is out of control the best planner, out of control the best I have ever used. One of the reasons is because you print it out, it's on 8.5 by 11 paper. So a lot of the little planners I'm trying to like,
Yeah.
and I have these beautiful color pens.
Oh, there we go.
I use my little color pens in the planner, and it is intensely good, but it's also hyper focuses you on one goal. You have your big win every single day. I can't highly enough recommend it. It is actually the way that I get so much done. I've been using this ever since she designed this planner in 2017. I've never used anything else. And I use it every quarter, and we just started a new quarter. Go get that planner.
I'm going to get one right after this call.
Well,
Paintboxplanner.com. All right. Now, we talked about all these courses and all these associations. It kind of leads me to Power Chick Mafia. So let's talk a little bit about that. Who do you have to be? Are there different levels, different tiers? I know that there's a lot of people on here that are interested, but is it just a female organization or is it male, female? Let's talk about that a bit.
It's just that the women are the ones that are teaching. Anybody can buy anything that we teach. But here's the deal. So I launched Power Chick Mafia right after really COVID started. It was a plan previous to COVID existing. And here's the real deal, Norm. In the last year, I started trading crypto so much, and because my mentor is a crypto trader, I've divested as much as I can from every business, and all I do all day long is trade crypto.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. I have a huge system. So at some point, because I'm running this experiment in crypto right now with compounding returns. So at some point, once I've gotten 18 months down the trail on this experiment, or probably before 18 months, probably in 6 or 7 months from now, I will be releasing all of that on Power Chick Mafia. But, so I haven't really been working as much on Power Chick Mafia just because I'm obsessed with crypto. Obsessed. It's ridiculous.
All my e-commerce contacts are doing crypto. Yeah. I'm seeing more and more. Oh, here's a course I'm putting out for crypto, this course for crypto. And now you're doing crypto.
Okay. So when I release the crypto stuff, I'm going to give you guys a secret. When I release the crypto stuff, it will be free, because if somebody actually really knows how to actually trade, they don't need to sell shit. When you have compounding returns on crypto, you can go from the experiment I'm running right now. I took $50,000. I broke it up into 100 different segments of $500, and every single one of those $500 lines is racing to 14 million. Because you do 10% compounding flips, 25%, 50%, 100%. And because my mentor really is one of the best traders in the world, I know the exact actual risk mitigation correct way to trade. You should only be trading with 20% of your portfolio and saving 80% for drop crashes. There's a whole bunch of rules that I have never seen any course teach, because the people who really, really, really know how to trade will make billions of dollars so quickly that there's no point for them to teach it. So there's a lot of really good free content actually on Clubhouse. And you can take a course too. A course is good to have really base starter knowledge. But in general, the reason that people would release the crypto course is so that their followers would buy the cryptos that they already purchased low, and then they're going to sell higher and then tell you to sell.
That's great. You know what? I feel like, remember Connie Chung, when she said this, just whispered in my ear, and only I will know. So what is that secret? No.
There are some really good secrets that I can tell people about crypto. The number one thing is understand the asset you're selling in. Okay, so every single cryptocurrency actually does something, and then some of them don't. So there's just they literally are called shit coins that just don't do anything, and they're rug pulls, and they don't have a functional utilization. So understand what the currency does. So this is just one example of many, many, many examples. So helium, which is an intensely cool crypto. It's the easiest one to explain. We're going to take the next 30 seconds and you're going to learn. It's a black box that anybody can buy. Then you put that black box on your roof, and it connects into Elon Musk's low-hanging satellites and provides internet connection that is not trackable or traceable. And it's also anywhere in the world, because the low-hanging satellites are anywhere in the world. And so like I'm in Sedona, Arizona, it's a remote location. If I have 2 or 3 or 4 helium boxes on my roof, I am earning helium tokens by providing this satellite connection to other people. They are paying, a fractional token in order to use my internet access. So right now, the whole internet that we're on right now is an attention-based economy. You are paying with your time. You are paying 30 seconds at a time to watch a commercial, to see a video. In the future, you'll buy a segment of like BAT, basic attention token, or something similar to that, and you will pay a content creator a dime to watch their video instead of watching that advertisement or commercial, which is how it currently works. There's going to be a shifting into a crypto economic economy from our current time-based attention economy because most people think the internet's free. I'm like, isn't that fucking free? It's costing you all kinds of money.
Okay, so that's a whole other podcast.
Yes.
I can't wait.
Well,
Actually, we've got to talk. Okay, so
Yeah.
before we get into some of the questions, I just have one other question for you.
Right.
So are there any action steps that you'd like to pass along to future entrepreneurs? Like, what do they have to do? What would you provide?
Okay. Well, I'm so glad Lisa got back to me with her planner, because what you have to do is have a plan for your time.
There we go.
You just do. So these are the best action steps that I can think of, because as we've discussed, mindset is everything. So I have a thing that I do in the morning. It's actually in my planner every morning. I check it off every morning because I took her planner and customized it for myself because I am that person. So it's 7 minutes. I call it 7.7x3, 7 times 3. It is 7 minutes, 7 seconds of meditation, 7 minutes, 7 seconds of visualization, and 7 minutes, 7 seconds of appreciation. So I do a silent meditation for those 7 minutes, 7 seconds. And then I do a visualization of anything that feels good. Do not take into your visualization something that's broken that you're trying to fix. If you have a problematic employee, don't fix them in your visualization. Just think about something that feels real good, like exiting your company or opening up in your email and getting $1,000 sale if you've never gotten $1,000 sale before, that type of stuff. And then with your appreciation, just write down things that you really easily appreciate about your life, because it's called a rampage of appreciation. It comes from Esther Hicks. She's an amazing author. And I do it almost every day. It's just whatever is appreciable. The spring flowers are out. It rained last night. It smells really good. I mean, nothing, it doesn't have to be the best appreciation that anyone has ever appreciated. I'm just like, I have a good cup of coffee right now. Everybody likes that. So get yourself a morning routine. And then whether you use the planner that I recommend or not, get a planner and write down a 90-day plan and come up with a goal, because there are many good planners. This is just, I'm fanatically obsessed with this one. And write down your goal, and then every single day work towards your goal and do the planner every day. And don't stop and give up on it. If you miss 5 days, just go back and start again where you are. No big deal. Everybody has ebbs and flows. Those are my best action steps.
Very good. Yeah, one of the things that I try to do at the end of the day is plan for tomorrow. So I already have a plan when I wake up. And I try to, anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes, I send out emails. Just, if somebody's done something good or interesting, I'll send them a quick email, a quick note just to say, hey, that was awesome. Thanks for keep up the good work, whatever. But
that's good.
All right. You know what? It's not my last question. Okay, so
I got time. I'm literally hiking after this, so I don't have anything else I'm getting to.
Let's talk about The Apprentice.
Oh my God. What time is it? No, just kidding. It was a million years ago, you guys. It was so long ago. But okay, let's go.
So I understand. Well, first of all, what was it like being on The Apprentice? Oh, I know what you're going to say.
What am I going to say?
Well, I know that your experience with the ladies in the group wasn't that great. Well, we already talked about it on I Know This Guy. So that's why I said I know what you're going to say. But let's hear from you.
I'll talk about different stuff. And okay. Actually, Kelsey, if you could drop the link to that episode of I Know This Guy. That's my favorite podcast I've ever done. It's literally in the signature line of my email.
Well, thanks.
I love that podcast. And it has so much good information in it. Well, so here's the deal. You're going to get the real deal.
The real deal.
This is the real deal. So The Apprentice approached me I did season 5. They approached me every season because they're like, young, hot female entrepreneur, come this way. We want you on TV right now. And I was like, I'm really busy. I actually have a company. I can't, like, my company then was, it was doing like 12 million annual sales. I'm like, I cannot leave my company and be disconnected for 45 days. Like, what the hell? So I talked with Mark Burnett because they were wanting me on the show. One of my mentors is like a psychologist who vetted every person that's ever been on the show. So they were aware of me. And he allowed me to have access to my business. So I finally did it. And the reason my mentor told me to do it was because I had had such a high degree of control over my whole environment. I became an entrepreneur when I was 18. So I've chosen every client, every staff member, every vendor, everything. And if someone is an asshole or doesn't fit in with my thing, I exit them from my life. So he's like, I want you to understand that you can handle any situation because this is going to be crazy pants. So go do it. So I actually did it for my own personal mental health, psychological reasons to sort of understand that I could deal with a non-controlled environment. I never talk about that, but that is the truth of why I did it.
Well, okay. That's some new information.
Yeah. I never talk about it, but that's true.
I mean, there's a few things, and I know this isn't Amazon, but I'm just kind of curious because we'll talk about how the show went, okay. But during that psychological assessment, it's also about how you can handle the backlash of social media, isn't it?
Right. Yes, that's right. And that would be even more intense now, but the casting process back then on a show was you would go for a week and do intense psychological evaluations to make sure that I have what's called a survivor personality type. So it's the type of person that could go into an extreme, like a hostage situation and come out and live a functional life. And that's kind of what they're looking for, just in case you get really slandered on social media that you're literally not going to kill yourself. So there are tons of psychological protections from the big, good shows. Now that there's so many shows, I'm sure that not every show is that thoughtful. Mm-hmm. But so you do a week of physical and psychological. They also blood test you for everything to make sure that you they test your health in every way.
Right.
To make sure you're not going to like have a heart attack or something, Yeah.
When you get fired.
Yeah.
Let's talk about you getting fired.
Sure.
There was some controversy around that.
Yep.
Okay, so what happened? This is just it's fun. What happened?
So here's what actually happened. I still to this day, as you can see in my home, like I don't own a TV. I've never owned a TV. Now I have Netflix. So like, hello, Walking Dead. I'm watching all of the things. But I never owned a TV. So I had never seen the show. And I just didn't understand. I didn't understand reality television at all. So there was an alliance against me. I didn't know what that was. I was completely unaware that it was happening. So they show on the episode where I got fired, they show the whole thing of like the alliance making a plan to lie about me in the boardroom, which is exactly what happened. But I had no idea. So then I just looked at Donald because they were screaming and being crazy, and I was just being really like professional.
You're poisoning them.
That's what they said.
That's what they said. Crazy.
And so he said, "What do you have to say about that?" And I said, "That is attempted murder for a game show. Like what?" And he was like, "Well, what do you have to say?" And I said, "If you cannot differentiate and tell the difference between these 3 women that are screaming about me and me, I'm willing to exchange the use of my mind for 1 year for you in exchange for the equivalent degree of a PhD in commercial construction. And if you don't see the difference between me and them, then I have nothing more to offer you." They didn't show this on TV, but this is what happened. And he was like, "Andrea, you're fired." I'm like, "All right then," because so then the episode airs months later. It's like 8, 9, 10 months later, the episode airs. And the next morning he called me on my cell phone. This has been 2005, 2006, which is not usual. He doesn't call people afterwards. And he's like, "You made me look so dumb. I didn't know there was an alliance." I was like, "I didn't even know what an alliance was." He's like, you didn't tell me da 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 da. And I said, "Donald, I did tell you that." And he said, "You didn't tell me loud enough." And I'm like, that's the most Donald Trump thing ever.
Oh, that's funny.
So he couldn't believe I wouldn't defend myself against murder allegations, and that's why he fired me. He's like, "This has to be true because you're not defending yourself. How could you not be screaming when somebody says that?"
Oh, I love it. I love it. And I know we got into a lot more of it when we were talking about on the I Know This Guy podcast. But let's see. Kelsey, are there any questions?
Oh, yeah, we got lots of questions that we can go through.
Great. And Andrea, you're okay for time? I already knew that this was going to go past 1 o'clock. But
I'm literally hiking today. Let's see if I still have my picture pulled up. While you're pulling up a question, I'm going to show the view out of my door. I'm going hiking here right after
my
this.
gosh.
That's
Yeah,
literally
beautiful.
the view, like right there out my window. Yeah.
I'm jealous.
All right. So our first question is from Simon. Simon asks, what ecom platforms are best for print on demand?
Oh, do you know, Daniel Damasa, can you post our Facebook, our teacher Facebook group on here? So the best ones for print on demand, it just depends on what you're looking for. And we have a whole breakdown of them on our Facebook. It doesn't cost any money to join the Facebook group. Shopify is really good because it integrates with them. The ones that I personally like and use are shirtagency.com. And they do a cross between print on demand. And once you cross over and are selling enough units, they actually will screen print for you, hold the t-shirts, and then send them out as they get ordered. And it's not a lot. It's like 50 t-shirts, and it's way effing cheaper because it's like maybe $6 or $7 to have a fully screen printed finished shirt versus like $14 on print on demand for a shirt. When you get in huge volume, the t-shirts only cost like $3 or $4, but when you're starting out, they're more expensive for all sorts of reasons. And then T-shirt Storm, especially if you have detailed graphics, they're like slightly more expensive, but they make it look like it came from you. This is another one that I personally use and I personally recommend. They will put like anything you send them. We have a sticker deal with them. They will put stickers into your thing. If you send them hang tags, if you send them special packaging, it doesn't look like it came from like Printify, where it's just in a like crappy little envelope that gets dirty. It looks really nice.
What about I'm kind of curious about quality. So if I go to Printify or Printful, you know, I get I don't know, a Gildan whatever ounce t-shirt. Do you have the ability to have the quality of the t-shirt so it just doesn't suck?
So that's why I would use Shirt Agency or T-Shirt Storm for that exact reason. However, so it just depends on what you're doing. So like for most of my t-shirt sales, like at one point, I kid you not, I had like the majority of the shelf space in Hot Topic for Word t-shirts were my Word t-shirts, previous to them, you know, doing their own Word t-shirts. But so when I would sell a t-shirt that just said funny words in a cool font, like, you know, I'm bad with names. Can I just call you dumbass? That was one of my t-shirts. And we sold like maybe 70,000 of them, or 100,000, I don't remember, thousands of them. So for something like that, we would print on Gildan or Hanes or whatever was on sale, and it didn't matter. But I, you know, have so many other clothing lines. For like Yoga Junkie, one of my clothing lines, it would be a soft, sexy female shirt that is fitted, that is great, you know. So it just depends on what you're going for. And yes, with T-Shirt Storm and with Shirt Agency both. And they're not the only good ones, but those are my two favorite. You do that. Yeah, and it is perfect for Etsy, whoever just said that.
Yeah, Simon.
So yeah, it is.
Perfect. Oh, and can I send one of those t-shirts to Kelsey? Because I'm always calling him dumbass.
So, yeah. I actually think that they're on because I still have an Amazon merch account. I think they're on there. So we can definitely get you one.
All right, good.
All right. Faye's asking, how can we reach and follow Andrea? Is there a good place to send people?
Sure. So the best thing to do actually is go to, well, I'm at AndreaLake.com, so you can see my whole thing, but there's not really contact through there. The best thing to do, honestly, is to follow our t-shirt site on Facebook, because I actually go on there, I actually read the comments. Because I don't seem literally, I just sit back in my cage and freaking trade crypto all day. I don't really post much stuff. But every now and again, you know, Daniel and I will get on there and do a thing. Daniel, we should do a thing. We get on there and do a little live and answer people's t-shirt questions and stuff.
And you're on, I don't know if you're still doing it, but you're on Clubhouse regularly, aren't you?
I don't do anything, man. I literally just hike in Sedona and fill out my little Noom and trade crypto. That's all I do. So boring.
I got to do that.
I'll show you my sheets. They're intense. I am not messing around even a little bit.
Oh.
All right. Next question. And this is the Facebook group, right? Teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Daniel.
Perfect. All right.
And thanks, Kelsey.
Thank you, Julie.
Whoever posted that, thank you. I didn't see who posted it.
All right. This is from Arthur. Hi, Andrea. I'm building a business, but I'm a total control freak. How do I get over this and trust other people to help me?
Arthur, I see you, buddy. You and me both. So I got the best advice from my mentor, from my gazillion-dollar mentor on this. And he was like, Andrea, I guarantee that you actually can pack boxes every day. Do you want to spend your days? You could actually pack boxes better than anybody else. Do you want to spend your days packing boxes? And I was like, fair. So this is how I assess and am okay with passing stuff off. First of all, it has to be something that doesn't directly, I'm not going to ever outsource like somebody speaking to like Target, if that's my biggest client. You know, that's a me job. So something that's going to really control the volume of income that my company makes, I am handling that. But just about with everything else, if I don't love to do it, if it doesn't make, like, I love to book my own travel because I like love to look at hotel rooms. I actually love grocery shopping. I do my own grocery shopping because I love going to the grocery store. It's bizarre. So if I don't love to do it, if it doesn't make my company money, or if it's something that I must do, there are some phone calls that have to come from the CEO. Those ones I do myself. Everything else that I can, I outsource, and I put this expectation on it. If this person can get it to be 80% as good as I do it, that's really good enough. Is it going to look prettier if I pack the box? Yes. Yes, it is. But I'm not going to pack the box.
Yeah, I had to get over that too. It can't be 100%. Yeah, just don't expect it.
You can
manage expectations.
And you can never scale if you try and do everything yourself.
Yeah.
So just try and get it far enough along. And even with like writing stuff, like anything that has to be written for my companies, I have an amazing right-hand assistant who was a journalism major, Crystal. So she'll send me stuff and it is 80-90% along the way by the time she sends it to me. And then I just polish it up, brush it up.
Okay.
So that's good too if you have a thing where you just want to get somebody started.
All right,
Awesome.
Kels.
All right, next is from Nathan. When would you recommend exiting a company versus continuing to run it?
If it's not fun anymore.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
And then, you know, it depends on what type of company you have. Generally a company like a normal CPG company, which is most of my company's consumer products, which you guys are in, you're generally speaking going to get 3 to 5x EBITDA on that. That's going to be the offer for it. So whatever your profit is, you're going to get offered 3 to 5x on it. We are going to sell Sticker Junkie like within the next couple of years, but I keep saying that, but we really are. Like I've already talked to my competitors, and there's a slight different price variation there because they already have their operational costs running. So we're going to actually get a little bit more because it's going to be cheaper for them because they're basically just putting our sales on top of their sales. But like in general, 3 to 5x EBITDA is not only, it's fair. I mean, it's normal. It's what you'll get. So if you're thinking of selling your company in the next 2 to 3 years, do everything you can to get your profit up because that is what your valuation is going to be based on.
I know we might have a couple of questions, but just another quick reminder. If you're interested, if you just joined us, if you're looking for the giveaway today, we have a $150 gift giveaway for Sticker Junkie and a 30-minute consult with me. Hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, tag 2 people, and you'll get 2 entries.
Okay.
I have one thing to interject really quickly because somebody asked the best question I've ever seen. What kind of coffee do you drink to get what kind of coffee do I drink to get the energy like you?
From Rad.
Rad. Okay, I am hooking you up, brother. So I have a Bialetti stovetop espresso maker. I do this every day. And then I put 2 of these, I kid you not, in my coffee. You are freaking welcome. Dark chocolate peanut butter cups has to be the ones from Trader Joe's. It doesn't have to, but they're better because they have a way lower sugar content. And then I do about like this much espresso. No, I'm sorry, like this much coffee. It's like the Bialetti makes a cross between coffee and espresso. And then 2 of those, and then this much of whatever. I like the Nut Pod, vegan creamer, but whatever kind of creamer you use, and it will be the best coffee of your life. You are welcome.
Wow.
All right, that sounds
There we
delicious.
go. You're hooked up.
Yeah.
Those are all golden nuggets for today.
Oh my God. If you take nothing else from this call.
Nothing else.
All right. This one's from Tony. What is the one book you would recommend to read or listen to?
I have so many of these, but I always really recommend kind of the same ones because they're older and people don't recommend them anymore and they're still so good. But the first one is going to be Success Principles by Jack Canfield. It is old. It's been renewed. This is the reason I recommend it. Jack spent 30 years reading business books, 30 years. And he would read like a book a week. And then he would take the best knowledge and information from that business book and drop it down into a 2 to 5 page paragraph. And then there's like exercises for you to actually go do implementation in your business. He updated it again, I think like 6 or 7 years ago, but Success Principles by Jack Canfield. Get the actual physical book from Amazon. And it's just fantastic. I also obviously recommend the 4-Hour Work Week, which everybody recommends. And my friend Nikki Agarwal wrote a book called Do Cool Shit, which is fantastic. And both Tim's book and Mickey's book are fantastic because they have a lot of writing exercises and a lot of like actual functional implementation into your thing. Oh, and read my book, How to Build a T-Shirt Empire.
There we go.
Obviously, if you're in t-shirts, it's like a textbook on how to start a t-shirt company. If you're not in t-shirts, I don't know, but
read it anyways.
It's actually any type of consumer product good. It teaches you how to do it doesn't matter if it's t-shirts or soap bars or whatever it is. It just teaches you how to distribute products and get into stores and increase your online sales.
Okay. Any more, Kels?
I had one from Jessica Rabbit. I'm just trying to find it. There was a lot of Wheel of Kelsey's, so I'm just sorting through. Okay, one's from Simon. I can do personalization on my kid's product, but no clue how to communicate this to customers. Do you have any tips? I think he's referring to.
You just need a section. You need a section on your website that has like a little generator. Like if you go on Sticker Junkie and you go into the generator, you can see that you can generate your own products. But there are Shopify plugins where you can do all kinds of customization on products to let people be aware that you can customize a product. So it just needs to be a segmentation on your website. And then maybe do some, for the people on your mailing list, like just do a few customized mailers that explain like, hey, you can also customize your XYZ. Christmas is coming up. This would be great for blah, blah, blah reason.
Okay. And I found the question from Jessica Rabbit. What criteria do you use to evaluate great marketers and decide who to hire? What questions do you ask?
Dollars. Dollar bills. So I would do a trial period and make it really effing clear what your expectations are. This is what I did when I was going for marketers because I don't know anything about Facebook marketing like I do now, but I didn't know anything about Facebook marketing. And so I ran my own ads to see what I could do. And then that was the litmus. Like if you can't do if this is what you do for a living and you can't do at least 3 to 5 times better than I'm doing, then you're not good at your job. Because I don't do it for a living.
Right.
So I ran little tests and then whatever I could do, I would expect them to do exponentially better. And then I always would just negotiate really, really hard. And people would say no at first, but then they always end up saying yes. I do not pay set fees, period. I'm like, you can be lazy with a set fee. So I will pay you a higher affiliate percentage on the sales that come through your links, but I will not pay $5,000 a month out the gate. I won't do it. So if you are that good of a marketer and I give you 10% of my sales and you can get $100,000 a month for me in sales, you're going to make 10 grand off. But obviously I'm on a different scale, but there's just starting out marketers too, who should be willing to do it for a percentage. And if they are not willing to do it for a percentage, because a really good marketer is going to be like, hells yeah, I'll take 15% or 10% or whatever, because they know they're going to be able to sell millions of dollars worth of products. And it's going to work out way better for them than a set fee.
Okay.
All right. And our last question is from Rad. Political t-shirts are popular. Oh, which ones are popular? Political t-shirts or artistic t-shirts? And comments. I guess, which one would you lean towards?
Which one would I lean towards? I think you can do way more hyper segmentation with political t-shirts because you can target people really politically. In my audience, I did do, joke t-shirts. And then I would just really hyper target like tattoo shops. And even online, you can tattoo artists and people who are really likely to fall in. But then the lucky thing is once you do the tiniest little bit of marketing and you have a history of who is ordering from you, then you can do the lookalike audiences. And Facebook's algorithm is very, very, very good at picking up who's going to buy your stuff.
Perfect. So I think that's the end of the questions.
Right, that's it. Yep. That's the
Andrea,
last of them.
You have never seen the Wheel of Kelsey.
I haven't. I'm so excited.
Here we go.
All right. So this is actually created from my brother, my older brother.
You know
I
Hayden.
know this guy podcast.
You
I
met
do
him
know
before.
Hayden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here we go. Enjoy.
It's time for the Wheel of Kelsey.
All right.
That was
All right.
amazing.
Okay, so this Wheel of Kelsey is for $150 gift certificate to Sticker Junkie, as well as a 30-minute consult with Norm Farrar, aka the Beard Guy. So if you are the winner, please email me at k@lunchwithnorm.com, and I'm just going to shuffle this up one last time, and let's see who the winner is.
All right. Who's
All
it
right.
going to be? Kelsey, you should be singing.
All right, the winner is Justin C.
All right, Justin. Congrats.
Congrats,
Congratulations.
Justin.
So email me k@lunchwithnorm.com. I believe this was from the Facebook group, so I do have access. I
Okay,
can
fantastic.
contact him, so that shouldn't be an issue. But thank you for everyone who commented today with hashtag Wheel of Kelsey. We do this every podcast too. So if you're new to the podcast, just come in and see what we got planned for the next one.
Andrea. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your time today.
Anytime. Always a pleasure.
You are awesome.
You are awesome. You too, Kelsey. And everybody that
Thank
listens,
you.
you're awesome.
Thank
Because
you.
you know what? Hey, listening to podcasts like this puts you ahead of 90% of your competition. It really does. Most people are not investing the time and energy to learn more from experienced entrepreneurs. So you are kicking ass just for being on here and listening.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. And I hope we can get you back on sometime.
Anytime.
All right. So thank you. And all right, everybody, I told you it would be a really great episode today. I hope you got a lot out of it about your entrepreneurial journey. Stick with it. Like I said, Andrea's great. And I just wanted to let you know that next podcast, we've got another person. This is a repeat a guest that's been on the podcast before. The hypnotic Amazon copywriter, Diane Bolster, is going to be back on Friday. So just to give you a bit of an update there and just to hone in on your copywriting skills, especially in fourth quarter. The other thing, a big shout out to our sponsor for this episode, Global Wired Advisors, a leading digital investment bank focused on optimizing your business sales process. For more information, contact Chris Schifferling and his team at globalwiredadvisors.com. All right, Mr. Kels.
All right. So thanks again for watching, everyone. We really appreciate all of the love and engagement that you guys give us. And it looks like you guys definitely enjoyed this episode. So thank you so much for tuning in and sharing your questions and your insights. The podcast wouldn't be the same without you guys. So if you're
Don't
new to
steal
the
my
podcast,
bloody line. Do not steal my line.
if you're new to the podcast, please visit our Beard Nation Facebook group. I wouldn't steal your line. I would never do that.
Yeah, you've done it before. And you were going down that road.
I
so-
was just about to be fair. But please join our community, Lunch with Norm, Amazon FBA, and Ecommerce Collective. Also, we have I'm really loving this, our Patreon group. We have like a bronze, gold, and platinum Patreon group that is available. It's like a mentorship program with me and Norm. So if you're interested in a group Q&A sessions, we do 3 different Q&A sessions a month plus a guest lesson where you can ask all of your questions that you have. We give out monthly SOPs to everyone, and you get your own Lunch with Norm mug and M&Ms. So you can go over to our website, lunchwithnorm.com, and click on the membership area, and you'll be all set up. I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, you think you have all the control, right?
I do. I will just remove him just like
right
that.
over top of you. So join us every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Eastern Standard Time at noon. And if Kelsey's going to keep me on screen, that'll be great. But thank you for watching. As always, we can't do this without you. This is what he was going to say, right? But it's my line. We love you being part of this community, all the engagement that you're doing, like every day in our Facebook group. We could not do this without you. So thank you so much for joining, and we will see you on Friday.
Lunch with the